How you doing?
Nervous
What are you nervous about?
that there's two guys on the top of our hardtop
Yeah.
with these huge frames, panels, and they're drilling holes in our boat.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
You know what that sound is? Progress.
Progress. As long as those holes are sealed.
Yeah.
So water can't seep in.
That would be bad.
It'll be fine. I just can't wait for it to be done.
Yeah. Join us on the Elli-Yacht as we realize our 5-year plan with the kids. Grown up, moved out, graduated from college. We take the dog, sold everything, and kitted out the boat so we can cruise the Pacific Northwest, all while living and working in the heart of Seattle. We are adding solar, and so these are the solar cables. So these all need to be run down because the panels go on Thursday. The guys made the racks and the panels go up there, and we'll have about 730 watts worth of power. So over the course of a day, that's probably a third of our power draw. So it should help out. We'll run the gensets shorter, or if we don't have as much load, we'll be able to go a long time. And when I say a long time, we'll probably be able to go at least a week on power if we're not having to run heat and or air conditioning, which for the most of the summer, we're pretty good. Yeah, these are messengers that we ran last time. We were pulling down all the high-speed cabling for the electronics, for the switches. So to make it a little bit easier to run additional wiring. Yeah, because we're almost to the end of this.
Wait, I don't think you're high enough for me to get the engine room.
Had to pull all the shelving out from here, which is a complete pain. Alright, so Navigator makes it super easy to do the wire runs from the bridge and everywhere else. So we're bringing the solar down into the engine room. This is under the galley. And there you go. So
We are having Ballard Marine Fabricators fabricate our frames for our solar panels. Once they are put together, they'll go out and get powder coated white to match the hardtop before they come out and install it. In the meantime, we are going to put a coat of ceramic coating on the hardtop because this will be our last opportunity to do this before they install the solar panels. Here is a look at the hardtop before the solar panels go up and are installed. All right, it's happening. We are getting our solar panels put on top of the hardtop. So they are going to attach those. They have made the frames and we're going to have to hoist it up and attach it to the top. So that will be interesting. Now it was just a matter of trying to find a safe place to put the solar panels until it was time to install them on the hardtop.
Just hand it on top.
Okay.
Here is the first frame going up and getting hoisted to the hardtop.
We're going to come up and I'll hand them.
sweet. Now, as you're getting up, feel free to grab hold of that.
Okay.
And then you can stand on that dinghy here too if you want. Or these strings here. Yeah, that thing gives more support.
I just watched Free Solo, so I feel qualified.
Oh, you got the whole thing, El Capitan.
Now it was time to install the two frames that they hoisted up there. And if you're wondering if you see snakes up on the hatches, you are correct. Because since we have put them up there, we have not had any birds poop on a hardtop.
I looked at flexible panels as well as rigid panels. Because of that radar arch right there, it's going to throw shade on the panels when we're on the hook swinging back and forth. So these rigid panels from a residential application work really well because they have what they call split cells as well as diodes in them that basically ensure we get as much power physically out of them, even if there is some shade that gets thrown on them during the day.
Beautiful day to get solar panels on your boat. It's sunny, which is rare in winter in Seattle. There's hardly any wind, so we're getting it done.
Sweet.
Getting them bolted in and drilling all the holes on the top of the boat. That's not a problem. Ever. Now that the frames had been secured to the hardtop, it was time to hoist up the solar panels and install those very carefully, because that would be tragic if one of them went into the lake. Of all the projects that we have had done on the Elli-Yacht, this one made me a little bit more nervous for a number of reasons. 2 guys on the hardtop, solar panels, it just made me nervous.
This clearly wasn't Ballard Marine Fabricators' first rodeo. They came completely prepared, not only with the right hardware, the blankets, enough hands on deck to make sure that nothing was damaged, but you could see it in the design as well as the fabrication and the execution. They had really thought the entire job out.
Keep it up side.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
How heavy is it?
Yeah. Probably, what, 30 pounds?
Mm.
Yeah, something like that.
30 pounds?
Something like that. Just awkward to lift.
Yeah.
Especially over your head.
We can't rave enough about having a hardtop on a bridge. It's on our short list, on our top 20 must-haves when we were looking to buy the boat, and it's worked out spectacularly. It's nice and dry up here, it's enjoyable. I really recommend it. However, getting up on the top of it, complete pain in the ass. This hardtop didn't come with a ladder to get up there, and having a ladder on a boat is kind of a pain in the backside. It's really caused an issue when you have to clean the hardtop or add anything like, I don't know, hypothetically solar. So super excited when we got on Amazon and we were able to find this telescoping ladder. Not only can we keep it down in the engine room, but it's self-locking. It just leans right up against the back of the hardtop. We've got a little handle up there we can grab a hold of. It's super stable, and the nice part is when you collapse it, it just nicely just slides down. It's a really slick ladder. I think it was only a little over $100 or so. Must have, especially if you're on a boat, you don't have a lot of space, and you need to have access to a ladder. So now we can wash the boat, add solar panels, you name it. We'll put a link down below. This is something that you would find useful on your boat, or I guess even around the house. As an example of attention to detail, all of these frames were pre-drilled in their mounting holes to ensure that there'd be no oxygen and therefore corrosion with the salt air.
Oh, and I forgot to mention that John got a new toy. We got a new drone because our last one went into the lake. It was so sad. New toy.
And here comes the second solar panel. It never gets any less stressful though.
We're on the mountains. We don't waste nothing.
Not even I. Your body made it. You need it.
The orientation is important when they put this second panel on, because we need to make sure they're in series. And that basically just means it's going to double the voltage and keep the amperage the same. That's important for our 48-volt house bank system.
Last solar panel was hoisted up onto the hardtop, dropped into the frame, and it is a success. Woohoo! Now it's just a matter of getting everything connected and secured, and then we will have Dan come out and wire it. Then we will be all set to have everything integrated into our Victron system.
So these panels are so big, they make the boat look small. They draw a pretty good amount of wattage. We're going to have about 730 watts per hour that will come in on those. Now this is a good side shot, so you can see how you might get some shading from the radar on these panels. Again, the split cells as well as the diodes will really make sure that we don't have a lot of energy loss like the older panels used to be. We did look at one point about getting what they call bifacial solar panels. They're basically clear, and so they would let the sun penetrate the panel and reflect off of the white hardtop and give us even more power, probably about 15 to 20% more. Unfortunately, because of the supply chain, we weren't going to be able to get them for another couple years. And, well, we need solar now.
John's up on the hardtop, and I'm going to climb up our handy dandy ladder and go check up on him.
How you doing, baby?
Oh, hey. Just tidying up the last of the wiring, so when an electrician, Dan, comes out, he doesn't have to be doing this kind of stuff. He can actually hook it up to the
Getting it all
solar charger.
zip tied and cleaned up like you do.
Like we do. All tidy and we can make sense of it later. Now that we have our solar panels on the top of the boat, we have all the wiring run, it all comes down here to the engine room, and it goes into this little guy right here. It's a smart solar charge controller. Pretty cool little unit. It has Bluetooth, so you can keep track of all of the charging profile going on, and you can configure it from your phone as well, which is pretty slick. So this little guy, it says MPPT 100/20. So it's 100 volts. The combination of our two panels is about 80 volts, so it comes underneath that. And they will create up to 20 amps worth of power at what it'll be a 48 volt charger here, because we have a 48 volt house bank. And so that's really what that 100/20 stands for. What they show is PV right here. So this is where the cabling from the solar panels go into. And then it has this battery connection as well. The battery connection just has a couple cables that they just run right to the battery bank, and it's just a little standalone charger. It's networked in with all the rest of our Victron system, so everything is completely integrated. We can see how much power is coming from the solar, what the state of the batteries are when they're charging, and we can just integrate this with the entire system that we have. We do have a fuse down here for the line coming in at 20 amps, and we have a fuse as well for the line going out that goes to the batteries, because we want to make sure that if there's ever an overload or a short, that we're protected. You also notice that there's a connection here for load. If you wanted to, you could hook up a load for 48 volt, and it would power that load. It's really kind of a feature that we don't need to worry about or use. So now we're at the point that everything is hooked up, and we're going to see right off the bat, although it's the middle of the winter, how much power this thing can actually produce.